you're all aware of what I've done. I was heavily into rhythmic gymnastics for 20 odd years, first as an athlete, and then I moved into coaching, and I was the high performance coach in Western Australia and pseudo national coach, and then when I moved to Melbourne I took up the high performance role in Paran, and I was there for 7-8 years. I then moved into doing choreography and coaching for the dark side, WAG. And I worked primarily with Michelle at MLC and with the High Performance Centre. I then moved full-time into the High Performance Centre. So upstairs at the High Performance Centre I do choreography-based activities for babies right up to the Zoes of the world. And within that kind of spectrum, I do ballet bar, I do body preparation, I do big jump preparation, I do routine choreography, I do beam choreography. So I'm covering as much as I possibly can. And last year was also fit the FIG rules, and we're ready to leave the country in a happy place. So today we've got 4 lectures, three lectures. The first one we're going to do is, or we're going to talk about, because it's not just going to be me talking, we're all going to kind of hopefully join in and talk about it together. We're going to try and cover the concepts of posture, how it relates to dance skills, and how dance skills and posture and choreography relate to providing the highest quality artistry of a floor routine and, to a certain extent, beam routines that we can produce. Because posture, isolated skills, and choreography are what are going to help you with your artistry. So I'm going to need some helpers any second now, just be ready to jump up. With posture development, can anybody tell me why it's such an important aspect of our sport or any sport? Having good posture. Sorry? Yep. Yep. So posture helps us have a good core. It provides the gymnast that we're working with a good centre, so of stability, because the kids have to be stable. They have to be able to hold their body so that they're strong enough to perform both isolated standing skills, static skills, and skills that have rotation and flight. So what I guess we need to understand, and we're going to get up and play with some kids soon, is posture is not just all about standing still. You need to be able to hold your core with correct posture in all of the skills, preparations, the skill, and the finishing positions that we all want the kids to perform. So we need to be able to work just good standing posture. We need to be able to work standing posture in static skills, for example, a passo turn, lunge preparation before the turn. You need to take those skills that you will get from creating good posture, and you need to take it over into all of your strength work, your static skills and your moving skills and strength, all of your conditioning work, and all of your acrobatic skills on all of the apparatus. So having a strong posture, I think we've just got to open up our mind and make sure that posture covers all of those single areas. When we consider working with the kids' posture, we've not only got to consider what their core is doing, but how we want our feet placed, where we want the arms placed, where we want the head placed, and that's just not standing, that's again in all different areas that we work on within the gym. So what I might have as a person, one up, first one up gets a lolly. No. Kirsten.
Do you slide the reader?
I don't have any lollies to give. Thing right there. So let's just have a look at Kirsten. Just stand the way you want to stand. I don't care, just stand. What are we seeing?
Yeah, slightly rounded on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yep. Anything else?
Forward a little bit.
Yep. Hips and tilts it a little bit. Okay. Okay, so depending on what we want, if we're just working on a plain, basic, core-related postural structure, we want your shoulders to be a little bit back. But I don't do that exactly what you just stand normal. Now just pull your shoulders back together. See how this is not what we want, because that's not creating a strong position, that's just creating an arched position. So if we down, she's got to have her ribs in, and you kind of want the ribs to be over the hips, so they're pulling in nice and tight, and that'll create a nice tight, hopefully, position down there. Arms pushing hard down to the side. So hopefully we've covered that and that. Hips line, you want the hips to have a nice straight line down the front. So, and I say to the kids, so that we're able to place a ruler straight up the front of her hips so that she's nice and tall, but at the same time, sit on your legs. We don't want to tuck it under too far. It's got to be a nice straight line. Bums have to be pulled in nice and tight. Legs are also important because you just don't want them to squeeze their legs together here. You want to try and wrap their legs around to the back. And foot placement to me is optional. You can either have parallel feet, ankles pull tight together, pull your legs in. Or we can have a slight turn out for first position. You've lost your shapes there, my love. And she's not standing nice and tall because I can move it. So that's the position we basically want under more. It's basically the same position that you would provide for a handstand. Put your arms up like in a handstand. So basically the same position. So, do you think we've got that sorted? If we can all take a person, I will give maybe 2 people per child. Do we have enough child? I'll give you a shape that I want you to work on, and you have got to put the child in what you think would be the strongest position for that shape. So find a buddy, find a child. Okay, now kids, can you just come here for a second? I don't want you to be good. I want you to make yourself. So do your best. I want to crack it. Okay? Understood? Yes. Let's go. Find a child.
Look at an old lady.
Alright,
So Bree, buddy up. Oh yeah, there you go.
so let's just start with putting your little demonstrator in a nice standing, strong position with feet slightly turned out for first. If the feet are slightly turned out for first, it just creates another layer of stability. Mind you, you can go feet in parallel because that is better for your landing positions from acros and jumps.
You good? You sure? Okay. No.
You'll find that if the kids learn to wrap their legs around, that it provides quite a strong stance. So you want no gaps in the thighs.
No, thigh gap.
Shh, don't talk back. Just do your job. Davina, are you pulling your belly out on purpose? Oh.
Yeah, it's just belly push up.
Okay, so you also have to pay attention to where the arms are placed. You want the arms down strongly by the side, but what are you going to do about their hands?
Pretty fingers.
Do we want our hands here? Do we want our hands here? You want to create a nice long line, so you want the palms into the leg. You've also got to pay attention to your arms forward, arms back. Where's, she's got too much arch there. So,
Good job. Shake it.
that's good. Legs up again.
You went soft. You can relax now.
So you'll find if you're able to put
Sorry. Have you really tired?
your arms are stopped. I can tell already that they're not stopped by your side. Thumbs in. You want this position to be the habit with kids. You want to make sure that you work on just the basic standing posture in liner, before they start every skill, as they finish every skill, when you do all of your strength elements in particular, like when you've got a lot of static shapes in your strength positions. So standing posture is not just all about dance. It is your program. Your program is based on having a strong structural, starting point. So let us. I'll give you each little group a position, and you've got to make sure that your child is happy, is in a nice, strong, stable position. All right, I will have you doing, and I think we'll just do all floor to start with. Passe position. Kirsten can have a landing position from a front side. Don't do it, they have to put you right. Kate can have a landing position from a cistone. Now, you have to remember, Kate, that your coach might have a different technique for the cistone. So don't just do the normal thing. Her technique is what you have to do. Okay? Don't just go into the normal thing. You can do a lunge position. Sorry? You guys can do releve in parallel, arms second. Do you understand what I just said? Good. Go. Oh,
We can just chill.
okay. No, we'll have 4 feet. 4 feet. Matilda can do. Arabas. Okay, so each group.
Don't lift your leg up yet. Come right. Each group, go ahead.
Each group just will need to give me a few seconds on why the arms are placed there, on why if you've got bent legs or straight legs, why that position you feel is the strongest position for the element or the skill that you want your child to perform.
Let's just start with your left behind. So just push it. Don't lift it yet. Don't lift me.
I think we need to say one minute. We all good?
Balance, yeah.
All right, let's go. Ready? All right, let's go. Kirsten, what's the position?
So we are front side, landing on the
Yep.
floor.
Yep.
Our arms are right to make sure you're staying up. So giving her balance out of our tummy nice and tight.
Yep.
Through the core, making sure that she's really solid in the landing.
Yep.
Bending the knees so we don't hyperextend.
Yep.
And have the ankles a little bit apart so that it's not like so that feet are apart, but just enough so that ankles don't.
Yep. So landing positions from forward rotating acrobatics. Generally, you want to create a stronger position here. I think if the arms are too narrow, you're more likely to lose your balance. So if your arms are slightly wider, then that's going to give you a little bit more control on landing. You don't want to have your arms in second on a landing because that still doesn't slow down the impetus from the rotation from the acrobatic. You want to land with bent legs, but another point that you probably need to think about is from when, and I'm moving off topic straight off, it's only been 5 minutes and I'm already off topic. When you land an acrobatic or a jump, I'll throw that one in there, you've got to make sure, just do a jump and land please, that they hold the landing. Now do a double bounce, which you're really good at. That and down. You don't want that to happen. So if they're not using their posture as a as a way of slowing down momentum or slowing like momentum from an acrobatic or from a jump, that's going to happen. So you'll know that's a bit of an indicator for you that they're not strong enough on their landing position. Hit the position again. When they land an acrobatic or a jump, I know that it's I guess maybe I'm going to say a common myth that you want their pelvis to be tucked right under, but that's not going to provide a strong position. If they have their pelvis a little bit back, that angle there gives a better landing position to stop any changes to momentum and it absorbs the shock. And it's not structurally, it's not nice or safe to land in that position. So this position here stems from ballet when we all do pliés, but when we're in, let's show me the plie first. Let's do it first. And plie with that one. Yeah. Ish, with some faults. That's a nice, sturdy, strong position to land, but we rarely use this in gymnastics. So, go back to your landing position. Leaning forward, stopping the momentum, and then present from there. So that's good. What have we got until then? Ooh, arabesque. Strength and hard stuff. Zoe, let's go.
Right. Just put your back foot behind first and oh no, wait a second. So we want side straight standing knee tight to begin with.
Yes.
Pulling out tall here.
Yes.
Arms tight.
Why?
Why?
Why then?
Because I like it.
Okay.
No, because I find it will help keep their chest upright.
Okay.
So arabesque won't scale.
Okay.
So their chest up. And then you want them to hopefully be able to lift their back leg up without dropping their chest. I don't know how Matilda's is going to look. To horizontal.
Okay.
Should be sort of quite nice tight back leg. Not all gymnasts might not be flexible enough, so I might get a few that tilt a little bit.
Yep.
Which is still nice.
Yep.
Not bad. Pull that left arm back tighter. Yeah, that's good. Okay, don't push. There you go. It's better. Yeah.
So what would you use this position for?
Well, it's in your leaves. That's a dynamic shape though.
Yep.
The position of the arabesque itself into TikToks, forward walkovers,
Yep.
coming out of backward walkovers.
Yep.
There's more.
I'm good.
So if we're working basic postural in specific shapes, you need to understand why your arms are where they are. So for example, if we're going into a TikTok,
You want chest up.
chest up, but where are your arms going to go from here?
From here they're going to come
Yeah,
down.
so you just need to be aware of the movement of the arms, the transition from the static shape into the full shape. Show me arabesque again. So with arabesque, it's difficult because it's not a shape that you work all the time. It's not like you do concave shapes all the time, you do convex shapes all the time, all around the gym, strength programs and all apparatus. But there are some shapes that are quite specific to beam and floor, and because you've got maybe 10 shapes that are quite just only specific to beam and floor, the kids don't actually work them very often or very well because you're time poor. So, show me again. We've got to make sure in this arabesque position. Oh, it's a tough life. Come on, up you go. Just this one. You've got to make sure that the knee is pulling up tall through the hip, because for me that hip line is too bent and it's not providing a stable enough position. You want the back of the thigh to be doing all of the work. You want her hips to be squarer. You want her to be pulling taller through your chest and not hinging in her lower spine, because ultimately the aim of having correct posture is not to incur any injuries. But if you say, that hinge there is going to impinge. So, we can do arabesque with another arm position. What's another arm position?
Opposite arm leg. Oh, I do those in terms of
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So?
Go to do one opposite arm leg.
So there's not just one position. Let's just go there. Let's go there. Flatten there. That's a better shape already. Strong arms. So there's not just one position. Make sure that you cover all of your bases. With your front foot turned down, your back foot straight. That was good. What have we got?
Put our arms in second.
And what would you use this position for?
Kicks on the floor.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Go up on your first. That's fine. Squeeze your legs together.
High relevant. Up with your relevant. Up with your relevant.
Up more. That's it.
Okay, so this is a difficult position for kids to use, and again, you'd only do this on beam and on floor. Anything on releve, you've just got to make sure that when they're on releve, that their weight of their the weight of their body is not spread out onto their little toes. So you want to be able to pull the fronts of their ankles together and have most of the weight on their big toe and their second toe. That provides a greater stability. With the arm placement, so I'm just thinking. So arms in second is the most common position that we have. Again, just squish your shoulder blades together. We don't want the shoulder blades squished together. I don't know if you can see there, but they're all like squished together. We want to provide a nice, long, open position with straight wrists. Lovely. Shoulders down. So shoulders down. You'll make the kids understand if you pull their arms out, you want to try and lengthen. Lengthen, 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 and shoulders come down. That is a stronger position and it's more aesthetically pleasing. Sometimes you'll have to go to the extreme. You want to lengthen down here and widen down here so the whole upper body is strong. And on releve, tall. Longer, 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 longer. This is not bad. That's not bad. Releve is too low. I would possibly do just that for a long time. At the bar and in the centre, on different